So, with all of this, and people are in a relationship, they are married, one will ask, then why or what is going on that these people are no longer engaged in this gratifying, like Doc says, this good sex, even though they are married? What could be the reason? What are some of the reasons that we think or that we know, Doc? What are some of the reasons?
Do you want me to try to address the reasons before we look at the effects?
Yes.
You see,
Okay.
there are effects
Okay.
of sexlessness in a marriage.
Okay,
And
so
then we can look at the reasons why there can be sexlessness in a marriage. So
Okay.
which one do we address first?
Let's see the reasons why there is sexlessness. And then when we look at the effect now we can know, okay, this is, I don't know if
Okay,
that
all right.
yes.
Maybe we can address it that way.
Yeah,
Okay, fine.
yeah.
So for reasons for sexlessness in marriage, they are myriad. There are lots of them. Some psychological, some physical.
Okay.
Okay. But because marriage is a blend of all these areas, I'll try to look at them, and as I look at them, I'll digress a bit into looking at how some of them are influenced by our hormones, and some just because we are what we are.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll look at them. There are a lot of them. Okay, there are a lot of them. First of all, I would want to pick on one which is not really easy to talk about, but it happens to be the most problematic in the issue: communication. You see, when two people who have been raised differently come together, if they fail to communicate what is going on within them, or they fail to communicate properly, so that the other person can appreciate what they are saying, because you see, in the whole act of sex, it is a two-way valve. You are doing something to another person and expecting a certain result. But as the person is expecting the result, the person should also be communicating to you, so that you can understand that what you are doing is achieving the purpose. Now, when this is not happening, or because of certain changes that you are going through, remember that maybe at the time you started, when you got married, the excitement, all that was there. The effort we put in courtship makes it easier. But when we get married, we think that it is on autopilot. It can roll. But no, it requires some effort still. And that is why I say that. So when it comes to communication, it is expected that the two people involved should be able to talk. What are my expectations? Am I meeting them? Are you helping me meet them? Are there any adjustments that must be made? Am I willing to listen, say that I can make these adjustments, so that in the end, that fulfillment I desire, or that fulfillment that you desire, we get it. Now, when that is lacking, it becomes a problem. Okay? So the man thinks he's doing the right thing. Yet the woman is asking herself, what is this guy doing? You understand?
Yeah.
The woman is desiring something. She's not communicating to the man to do what she wants. And the man is doing something else. And he thinks he's on top of the game. Now, so you see, in the end, both feel frustrated and unsatisfied.
Simply because they could not communicate with each other.
Exactly. Now, you also will realize that I said marriage is a journey where, unfortunately, you get your certificate before we even commence.
Imagine
You've passed before you start the journey.
You have not started, you have a certificate already.
And so what happens here is that in life, things change. As I talk about the different reasons, you come to understand that things can't remain the same. But as things change, you are expected to communicate so that the necessary adjustments will be done so the purpose will be achieved. Unfortunately, this doesn't happen. I can tell you for a fact that there are women who cannot communicate their feelings and what they expect in sex to their husbands, and sometimes vice versa. Okay, this is because we kind of talks about sex as a bit of a taboo in our palace here, but that needs to change. You don't need to shout. You don't need to be too, because you see, the issues about sex can be a bit boring. I'll give you an example. If a woman notices that a man's erection is becoming a problem as compared to previous, if she doesn't know how to communicate it well, she would end up worsening the man's problem. And this time it will not be only an erectile problem, it will become a self-esteem problem. That even out of the house, he feels less of a man. You get that? But if the same woman is able to communicate it well, there are different modes of communication. But you see, you need to just be assertive and empathetic. You aren't going to complain and ask whys. You are going to say what I would have expected and expect that he will work his way to help you achieve the expected. Yeah. That's how it goes.
Yeah, so communication is a big thing.
Very, very big.
Yeah. I just want Pastor to come in before we continue. I know you talk with couples a lot, and do you encounter that as well?
Yeah, so aside communication that Doctor made of, there are people who had gone through abusive relationship when they were young before. So growing up, they see sex to be abuse.
Because they link sex to pain.
To pain, one. And even
what is happening is their past negative emotions
exactly.
reappear each time they think and consider or engage in sex. So it is not about now.
No.
It's about their past coming into their
exactly.
now. And so such people, if they can communicate,
exactly.
then you can help them to adjust. You can appreciate their challenge and then know how to deal with them.
There are a lot of infidelity that will cause a sexless marriage. Those who are addicted to porn will cause sexless marriage because they get the satisfaction from watching that and from masturbating. So the husband who is coming or the wife who is coming may not be able to satisfy them. So they will shun. They wouldn't allow themselves to be available for it. Even if they communicate crash, they wouldn't listen because after all, I'm tired. I had a stressful day. So at the end of the day, they always will give excuses, just not for that thing to happen. But no, there are issues that is attributing to the fact that they are doing something that is way beyond what you and I are going to do. So then no sex, and one is complaining. This is from Doc's definition. If nobody is complaining, then once a month we are okay. Once a month, 3 months we are okay. But when the wife complains of the attitude of the husband, or the husband complains of the attitude of the wife, then there's a problem. So some of these things caused wives or husband or couples to have sexless marriage because of the reflection of the abuse when they were young, because of the addiction they are currently ongoing. And about 5 years ago, I had a call from a married man, and he wanted to talk to me, but he didn't know how to communicate his problem. He didn't know how to communicate his problem, and I was there, and when he called, I just said, I've been helping others and even those who are masturbating. And he was quiet on the phone. That was what the spirit, he was quiet on the phone. Pastor, how did you know I was going to? I said, I don't know. I was just giving you an excuse. Then I asked him a further question that, what happened? He said, even if he's done with the wife, he goes and masturbate, watch porn and masturbate. So what he does with the wife, it is just a formality. But the reality of the issue is that he doesn't get satisfaction with a wife, but he gets it on watching porn and masturbating. So it's a sexless marriage because the wives complain of lack of satisfaction in marriage. So there are a lot of factors that cause one couple to be there like that, like brothers and sisters, and we may think it is right, but no. They are not able to communicate their problems well. They are not able to tell whoever it is that, no, I need help, I need this, I need to do that. And they are keeping it among themselves, and they are dying. So these are some of the things I would add to what Doctor said, based on the fact that it also it causes sexless marriage, as we all say.
Yes.
Yeah, back to my issue. See, we said they are married. Okay, we've talked about communication. Now there are health issues. Now health issues also come in because as we age in life, some chronic diseases, rear their ugly head. So the person is diabetic.
Okay.
And so because he's diabetic, if he doesn't get good control over the period, the man will be having issues with his erectile function. All right. If the person is hypertensive and for some reason his medications are not properly managed, his medications, the side effects will give him weak erection.
Yeah.
Okay.
If this man has a chronic heart condition, he's not as agile as he used to be.
There will be a lot of breathing.
So,
How do you know?
Clearly, Jacob said. How do I know? I read these things. I research before I come on set.
All right, listen, thank you.
you get to understand that he won't have that agility like before.
Okay.
So if you can't or you don't understand that he can't be like yesterday because of his health situation, you would be unfairly expecting him to do what he used to do yesterday. And if you push him too hard, you kill him.
Oh,
Okay?
yeah.
Then you have issues like people who have other chronic conditions. Okay? So chronic ill health in itself makes one think less about sex. Okay, so a woman is struggling with a breast CA. It is not something she can wish it away. Her chemotherapy alone that she's going through is affecting her. Then her mind is not on sex. So that kind of woman, you will be unfair to expect her to be the previous woman when she didn't have that condition. Apart from that, economic stress in itself is a no-go area when it comes to a man's erection. I'll tell you a story. If you want to weaken a man's erection, just when he's about to get engaged, bring in a financial issue that would demand his money, he will go flat. I am being realistic.
Please don't do this at home, please. Don't do this at home.
So you just say, hey, you know about the money I told you about.
Exactly.
You know they do that in Nigerian movies.
It is a very potent way of killing his sexual urge. All right?
Okay.
So naturally, when a man is going through financial stresses, maybe he's lost his job, or maybe he's having challenges at the job site, and where he can generate income to the house is becoming a problem, it surely affects his sexual function. And this is where, if knowledge is there, there's a way he should be able to communicate it, say that the woman in the family or in the marriage would understand, so that he will not measure him to his yesterday. If you do that, you are just not being fair. Okay? Apart from that, other stresses in life, like a sudden loss of a good friend, a sudden loss of a mother, these are things that naturally will not take your mind back to pleasurable things. Okay? And so it can affect. Then you can talk about depression. Now, generally, I have a rule that says that all people who have chronic diseases have depression. True. Because the condition is not leaving, they are treating, they are not perfect. So they have some level of depression. And depression by definition just says that these are people who have no interest in anything happy about this world. So if sex should bring pleasure, they are not interested.
Exactly.
So depression in itself is a situation that makes people who are suffering such states think less of sex. Okay? Then the medications we use to treat mental ailments themselves have a negative effect on people's erectile functions, especially the males. And the females too, it dulls their libido.
Yeah.
Okay? So when somebody has a mental challenge and is on these medications, please don't expect them to be like they used to be. Don't measure them with those. They may not be out entirely, but you cannot equate them and expect them to be functional like they used to be. Another thing that is very, very important for me, and I need to talk about it, is something that happens with the women and not men.
All right.
Call it menopause. Now, menopause, for what it is, people yesterday didn't think that you should talk about sexual challenges when you talk about menopause, because everything about menopause was about the organ and no. But we now understand that menopause creates certain situations that affects the brain. Now, let me make it right here that the most important sexual organ is not the penis or the vagina or the ovaries or the scrotum. No, it is the brain. The brain is the most important sexual organ. So, if there's a situation that could affect the brain, then you can understand how that person's sexual thing will be affected. So, for example, what we are saying is that when somebody is menopausal, his estrogen level is dropping, is dropped. It's unlike a male whose testosterone could dull, but it's a gradual drop. It doesn't drop entirely. It's a gradual drop, and it could take years. But for a female, within the late 40s and early 50s, it's a huge drop of estrogen.
Wow.
And that alone affects her moods. It affects the neurons in her brain. Such that the neurons that you see, you need estrogen to energize the nerves. It is what gives the nerves the ability to make use of glucose. So when that is not happening, it dulls the senses. That is the same reason why they have issues with mood swings. They have issues with lack of control of their temperature, so they are sweating here and there. Once in a while, they talk about difficulty in sleeping because the amygdala, which is the part of the brain that is necessary for sleep, it's not functioning well because estrogen that is necessary to prime the nerves is not there. And it's not their fault. Okay? But there's a twist to this part.
All right.
Menopausal women have been seen, if on good medication or treatment, to be sexually free. The right word here is that, you see, when the drop happens, they will not be interested in sex and things like that. But the truth is, when they normalize, the inhibitions to sex previously are no more. This time she can have sex and won't get pregnant. So if pregnancy was an inhibition for her, she has no inhibition now.
No.
If she has proper lubrication and now nothing is hindering her, she will enjoy sex now. So it will now depend on how the couple are able to communicate amongst themselves to understand, to now do good lubrication. Because yes, when estrogen is down, they dry up easily, they need to be properly lubricated. And when that happens, they will enjoy sex. So you see how just the hormone factors are interplaying. Okay?
Yeah.
Apart from menopause, I need to bring up this issue too. Childbirth. Now, when a woman has a child, the process of procreation and now the happiness of having the baby, in a way, takes her attention. Naturally, we say that men should give them some excuse for about a month or two. But then, you ask yourself, that man is expected to control himself.
For 2 months.
Thereabouts.
Oh, 2 months is more. Then they have capped it 3 months.
And
Well, there are reasons for that. You see, the reasons for that is that because now we are saying that we need to give that woman an opportunity to raise that child well.
It's beautiful, yeah.
The attention she needs, okay, the concentration she needs. That is why we say so, okay. And at that time, her hormone fluctuations are different, okay. The lactating hormones are the ones up, okay.
yeah.
And so you won't get her to respond well to sexual urges like before, okay. Another thing I want us to talk about is that, you see, when somebody is having issues with sexual failures, do not always look at the act, go beyond the act, because occasionally you have done something and she's angry or he's angry, and you fail to deal with the issue.
then you bring sex.
Then you want to use sex as a cover. No. Women don't do that. They like to address the issue. Then they are in a good frame of mind. I told you that the brain is the most
Your brain,
important
yes.
sex organ.
Yeah.
Then they are in a good frame of mind to express themselves properly. But if they have trust issues, they have infidelity issues, and you fail to address it, don't expect the best from them. Okay? A man may be able to run away from it, but a woman, no. Okay? So when we have issues about fidelity, trust issues, failure to address issues, you won't get the best from that woman. I will pause here. There are lots more.
It's so interesting.
Yeah.